Welcome. You're with the Nasty Pastor, and I'm back with another chapter reading. I'm back with another reading from On Isis and Osiris, a book that is written by Plutarch. And before we get started, let's get into um subscribing. Let's get into likes. Let's get into shares. Let's get into you commenting. Now my YouTube channel is OFM Kemet Edition, at OFM Kemet Edition. My my Facebook page where you will find the readings of On Isis and Osiris is OFM Kemet Edition, OFM Kemet On Isis and Osiris. You get me? OFM Kemet On Isis and Osiris. And to get this to you perfectly, you know what I mean? It will be OFM Kemet On Isis and Osiris. So go over there, put a follow. That way you can catch every reading. Put a like on there. You like some things. But anyway, we're going to get into this chapter reading, and it will be chapter 44. And if you have really kept up with me, I'm going to double some things up so that we can, scoot along up out on Isis and Osiris. And once again, like I said, go to my YouTube channel at OFM Kemet Edition. You'll find a playlist of On Isis and Osiris. Now let's go and get into this. Osiris, on the contrary, they represent by an eye and a scepter, whereof the one signifies foresight, the other power. In the same way as Homer, by calling Jupiter, who governs and reigns over all, by the title supreme and knowing, probably indicates by the supreme his power, by the knowing his good, counsel, and intelligence. They frequently represent this god by the figure of a hawk, for that bird excels all in acuteness of sight and swiftness of flying, and by nature digests its food most rapidly of all. Now you understand why they look at Osiris as the all-seeing eye. Well, really it's Horus, supposed to be the all-seeing eye, but if you look up under Osiris, he's represented by an eye. You feel me? He's represented with an eye. He's his figure, his animal like character is a hawk. You feel what I'm saying? The bird is also said when corpses are lying about unburied to hover over them and drop earth upon their eyes, and when in order to drink it, descends upon the river. It sets his wings upright, and having drank bends them back again, by which it is evident that it protects itself and escapes from the crocodile, for if it should be swallowed up, the wing remains as it stood, fixed upright in crocodile's gullet, and so prevents his gulping down the bird. In many places also they exhibit a statue of Osiris in the human shape, erecting the genitals on account of his generative and narrative character. Whilst the flame-colored robe investing his images is put because they regard the sun as the body of the good principle, the visible from the intelligible being. Hence we ought to pay no attention to such as assigned to Typhon, the spear of the sun. He that has nothing bright, nor salutary, neither order nor power of generating, nor motion regulated by measure and reason, but all the opposite qualities belong to him, for a drought which destroys many things, both of animals and vegetables, must not be put down as the effect of the sun, but of the winds and waters and earth and air, not being seasonably mingled together, when the principle of disorderly and unregulated forces has got loose and has extinguished the exhaustions. I want to pause right there before we go on because see, they said something about a drought, and I want to reflect on that sun. And I've always said to you that I believe that sun is hell. I've always said to you, yes, I take that energy from that sun. But I also want to say this to you again. What I've just read explained how the sun has caused a drought in Africa. You feel what I'm saying? So that means the crop is dying. That means the fish in the Nile. I'm not going to say they're dying, but they're living at a temperature in the water that they really can't sustain life in. You get what I'm saying? So that heat kills. You feel me? It kills. Over time, it kills you. Let's get into the next part. In the sacred hymns to Osiris, they invoke him that is carried within the arms of the sun. And on the 30th day of the month, Ether, they celebrate the birthday of the eyes of Horus, when the sun and the moon are come into one straight line, inasmuch as they consider not the moon alone, but the sun also as the eye and the light of Horus. Now, isn't that the eclipse, the solar eclipse? And on the 8th day, from the end of the month, Theophai, they celebrate that of the sun walking stick after the autumnal equinox, signifying that he requires it where a support and strengthening as he grows weak both in heat and light and moves away from us, bending down and crooked. Now, do you hear him? He grows weak in the heat and the light. That's what the sun done. And again, upon the eve of the winter solstice, they carry the cow 7 times around the temple. And this circular position is named the seeking for Osiris, as though the goddess were longing for the winter rays from the sun, and they walk round so many times because he completes his journey from the winter solstice to the summer solstice in the 7th month. And on the 4th day from the beginning of the month, it is said that Horus, son of Isis, was the first that offered sacrifice, as it is written in what are entitled the birthdays of Horus. Man got 2 birthdays. It's plural, it's not singular. And in fact, they on each day burn incense to the sun of 3 different sorts, namely resin at his rising, myrrh at noontide, that which is called Kai-Fi, and his setting, of which the signification that each bears, I will explain further on. And by means of all these, they believe they propitiate and worship the sun. And what need is there to bring together many things to the same effect? Same effect. There are some that assert point blank that Osiris is the sun, and is named Sirius by the Greeks, for amongst the Egyptians our prefixing of the article has caused the name to be mistaken. The Greeks mistaking Egyptians in text must be a slip of the scribe, and make out Isis to be no other than the moon. And one particular of her images, those figured with horns, are, say they, imitations of the crescents, whilst by those covered with black, they interpret her warnings and envelopment in darkness, doing which she longs for and follows after the sun. For which reason they invoke the moon for aid in love affairs. And Isis says, Eudoxus presides over amours. These stories indeed have a certain share of plausibility, but as for those that make out Typhon to be the sun, these are not even to be listened to. Let us, however, resume our proper thing. That's the end of this chapter reading. It's chapter 44, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, it will be chapter 4. And You see how our history is all over the place, right? You see how our history is is like it's like a lot of this stuff. Not I'm not gonna say it's made up. You got what I'm saying? But but we need to really come to some understanding about our history. Come to some understanding that our history has been translated by the Greeks, and we know that half of the world's history at the reign of Cleopatra was destroyed. You know, half of the world's history, you know, was destroyed. So once again, I say this to you again, you know what I mean? Please, let's think, you know what I mean? Let's really think. Let's really get on our know-how. Let's really stop standing in piss. Let's really stop standing in someone else's piss just because they have brought you up under their wing and you have fell upon every word, every literature they have handed you. It's time for you to research, time for you to seek your understanding and stop falling and standing upon someone else's understanding. It's a beautiful thing when two minds come together and they can agree to disagree. It's a beautiful thing when two minds can come together and they can have a dialogue about religion. They can have a dialogue about spirituality and walk away from each other with no ill emotions, with no ill feelings. You get that? With no ill emotions. You know, whom you pray to is whom I pray to. Your culture just displays whom you pray to the world with a different name, a different title. You feel me? A different name. The same for me. You get me? Let's move on from names. Let's have an understanding that there is one God, one word. And once again, if you have studied most religions, most spirituality that's public, the scriptures are almost the same. They're really almost the same. There are people that move within this world, move on this rock in righteousness, in good. There are people that move within this world with evil intentions, with evil deeds. So I say this to you again, you know, your life is in these scriptures. Read them. See if you can figure where you supposed to went right when you went left. Figure where you went right and you should have went left. Because sometimes it's best to, you know, you think something's right for you and it's not. It was for you to turn left instead of for you to go right. That wasn't the move for you right now. It seemed pleasant, it seemed good, but you didn't think it all the way out to the end. Because see, some things start off good and end up ragged. Anyway, I am the Nasty Pastor. We just wrapped up another chapter reading from On Isis and Osiris. And once again, please, if you're not on my YouTube channel, at OFM Kemet, go over there, Kemet Edition, go over there, like, subscribe, comment. You can find some playlists over there. If you're not on, if you're on YouTube and you're not on my Facebook page, please go to OFM Kemet, On Isis and Osiris Facebook page. Follow, like, put your notifications on so you can receive the new content that is presented to you weekly. Anyway, I'm out and I love you.